Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Minecraft survival world. And incidentally, in this episode we are finally in Minecraft 1.11.2, which is officially the latest version of this game. And I've gone down to the Iron Titan and checked out whether that was still working, and everything seems in order there as well, which means that we can use all of these new features from the new update, which will be absolutely amazing. Although most of them are to do with like the end and the elytra and things like that, which I can't even get to at the moment, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to go and kind of play a lot more Minecraft and try and get to the end and things like that, and then I'll have access to those features too. But in today's episode, we're going to be focusing on fixing this thing right behind me, the storage system, which doesn't actually work, and it's still, you know, there's too many items flowing through, and there's not enough capacity for this storage system. And actually, I don't think it's the capacity. I think it's mostly the fact that these dropper item elevators are just way too slow. They are way too slow in taking up all of the items from down below there, from the hoppers, because as you can see, they only go one at a time, which is absolutely, you know, stupid. It is, you know, it would take way too long for all of the items to actually flow up here. And I think they're still flowing into some of these chests, although I can't see anything at the moment. I think sometimes they're just kind of flowing into the hoppers and filling the hoppers up. But yeah, as you can see there, we still have the items flowing in, and this is really annoying because I built this crop farm so long ago now, but I haven't been able to use it once to its full kind of capacity or to its full extent. It's not been operational just yet, just because every time I build a storage system, it's just not good enough to cope with all of the capacity. So now I'm gonna have to go into my creative world probably and figure out exactly how to create some faster dropper item elevators. I'll probably look on YouTube and see probably DocM or the ZipCrowd server people have some better designs, and I'll go into my creative world, put them together and see what I can come up with. So I have just been doing some work down here underneath the whole storage system, and I've also been in my redstone creative world searching up some new types of item elevators. So I searched up some observer block item elevators, which is the new block in Minecraft 1.11, and they looked pretty cool and very complicated as well, and but they didn't actually work with the design that I've got going here, and so I decided in the end just to use the same item elevators. I actually also saw some glass ones which were really super fast, and they brought all of the items up to the surface immensely fast. But the problem with those was that the problem that we're having down here would just occur up there instead, because all of the items would pile up onto the hoppers, and we just have the same problem basically. So instead of doing that, I'm still using my my trademark slow item elevators over here, but instead of just using 2, which is what we had before, now I've installed 6 up here. And I say installed, but I still have to build these things, but I've got the whole setup ready, so they'll work through 1 clock, as you see here, each, or at least every 3 ones will work from 1 clock, if you get what I mean. So we're splitting it half, and that should work pretty well. But also I'm going to go down along this hopper line, which is the item stream. As you can see, all of the water here, I'm going to go along and add in some more hoppers to hopefully collect up all of the items as they flow through, which should hopefully fix our problem a little bit more as well. Yes, as you will see in just a second, I'm completely done with everything. I'm done, and I didn't take any cuts. I really don't know why. I just thought I'd go and build through this whole thing, but here it is. Here is the new and improved, I was going to say solar system for some reason. I think I've gone completely crazy after playing Minecraft for such a long time, or maybe it's just the beautiful stars up there which are reminding me of the universe. Okay, I should stop going off track. So obviously we've got this lovely new storage system right here with the dark oak wood slabs and stuff, as decoration. Obviously not much to explain, but it does look pretty cool and fits in with the original theme which we had. So all of this is obviously new. If you can remember the way the old one looked at the front, the two switches or the two levers were slightly they were on the wall first of all, and they were slightly further back. This entire wall has kind of been pushed forward just to keep space for the new item elevators, which are right here. So we've got this one here and these two. So these three form that side's item elevators, and then we've got three more which connect to this side of chests. And I've got these neat little doors as well to just let me navigate all of the redstone, which is just like a maintenance store, which is really cool. You should always have a maintenance store whenever you make any of these builds. I think it's very necessary. But also, of course, we've got the levers, which didn't actually take too long to wire up. I think I just had to move down the inputs for those and kind of snake them around these item elevators. And obviously, every time there was a redstone torch in the way, I'd have to use a repeater like here and over here to stop the signal from interrupting. But that's just a little behind the scenes look at things there. So this is the whole new aesthetic theme we've got. We've also got this secret little door which leads down to the maintenance hatch, down to the secret lair over there. I really love this kind of stuff sometimes. And this will let us go down into the main redstone hub of this system. So obviously we have all of the item elevators right here, and I think I should add in some kind of stairs here probably. That would be a good idea. Probably something along the lines of this. There we go. Oh, okay. I've always placed it. I always place them wrong. I always place them wrong indeed. And that's clearly not going to work. I'm probably going to have to sort that out a little bit later. But anyway, you can see here that we have all of the item elevators connected up with the redstone clocks, and everything seems to be working pretty well. If I just get rid of this, because this clearly isn't going to work, maybe this is better. Obviously I haven't actually connected up the water stream, or I haven't actually released the water stream yet into here, and that's just because I have a few things left to do here. I need to add in a door first of all. Oh wow, okay, right, yeah, that's probably not a good idea to have a door right next to the yeah, I should get rid of that. Okay, that was weird. That's pretty cool though. I think I'm going to put the door over here. That should, yep, that should keep it nice and not crazy. That's pretty good. So that will hopefully stop the water kind of spilling into the redstone if the water does kind of come past here, because we're just going to have like a block or something like that just to stop the water from coming past. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned before, this is the sort of emergency storage system, just in case all of the hoppers back up again. Then I can quickly go and collect the items and deposit them into there. But anyway, the thing that I still need to do is to go and add in some more hoppers into this line. So I'm just going to go and block this side off with some dirt, like so, and then I'm going to go and add in some more hoppers into this line. I think this is enough hoppers, that's for sure. If this is enough hoppers, then we might as well cover the whole surface of the Minecraft planet in hoppers, because this is definitely enough. So now we can let rip the water and see if I've done all the counting out properly with the hoppers, and I've maintained the shape of the ground or the water stream, so that all of the water can flow back down all the way till the end, and hopefully it won't go through that fence gate, which it obviously won't even when it's open, which is great, which is why I've left it there. And I think I could do something else as well. For any items which do happen to kind of break through, I'll leave like an extra hopper there just to pick them up, just in case you know, it takes me a few seconds to arrive, obviously, so then it will be good if there are some extra items. But I have checked out this system, as in I've tested it out, and it does bring items up into the chests, up to the surface, so it's working all perfectly, and I'm glad to say that I am very, very happy with this task indeed. I really don't know. I don't know. I just felt like having cookies, and here they are. Here they are. I think, sometimes you can just get bored of pumpkin pie, and yeah, I just thought I'd eat some cookies. But they only fill up one hunger bar, which is not so good, and they haven't got very good saturation either. Although they are pretty cheap, 2 wheat and one cocoa bean, which gives you 8 cookies. That is pretty amazing, I'd say. But yeah, we're over here, by the way, because obviously a few episodes ago, or maybe last episode, I said that we were going to go and tear these things down, and now I'm afraid is the time that we're going to destroy them. So we're going to go ahead and tear these things totally down, and I'll be right at the top, and soon they will be no more. So that is one down and one to go, and by the way, the reason I was doing this so early, the reason why I'm tearing them down straight away, is because all of the materials that we can get from these farms can be used to build the next farm. So obviously the pistons will come in quite useful. The redstone torches I am not too worried about, and they are pretty much the only redstone components of this farm because it's so simple. But another thing is looking at the diorite here. I think the diorite was always a bit of a risk, and it was a bit of a kind of thing that I was always unsure about. And diorite really doesn't work with anything, to be honest. It's the only block which I just absolutely hate. I think Scar found a use for that, though, in making snowy mountains and things like that. So it could be used as kind of like a hard ice variant when you're building in creative building. But apart from that, diorite is just the worst material ever, I think. So it's a good thing that I'm tearing these things down, because I never really did like the aesthetic theme, and I probably should have used more iron, I think. The two towers have been completely ripped out. As you can see there, everything's flat and back to normal, and that means that we can move on to the next project of today's episode, and that is to go down there back to where we built the new harbour and decorate around that area, because we're going to be rebuilding the fortune area and moving it from there into its slightly smaller location over here, because obviously we don't need such a big location, which I explained in the last episode. And to be honest, I don't actually know how I'm going to be doing this. I have got no idea of the theme. We might be using wood, we might be using stone, and smooth stone and cobblestone. I'm really not sure at all. I know we do need some light sources, so we're probably going to be using glowstone, since that is pretty much the only light source I have. Actually, I do have redstone lamps as well, which I can use, so one of those will be involved in this. And we're probably not going to be using cobblestone, actually, because we've got so much cobblestone going on in the old design that I think I want to change things up a bit, and let's see what we can come up with. So I'm making some progress here, but obviously there's not much done just yet. But you can see that I'm kind of maintaining the theme which I had going here, which with the same materials, and I've created this little bit of a path bit just right next to the water, so we just have that kind of separate, or that is kind of like a border to the little river we have going past here, to the harbour area, and to the whole fortune area, which will just be over here. And I don't think there's going to be any kind of fences or anything kind of siphoning any areas off. I think I'm just going to kind of leave it like this. And obviously for lighting, like I say, redstone lamps are probably the best way to go. Glowstone probably won't suit in this area, but redstone lamps will definitely work quite well. And in terms of the materials for the center, I'm still not sure, but I think I'll try out some different variations of wood and stone and things like that. And I've also got the redstone lamps again to put in the center. And if you're wondering why I've got all these flowers here, that's because I was going around and experimenting with different flowers to try and decorate this area over here along this path, and also on the other side. But so far I haven't found out anything particularly useful, but I really do love the color of these red rose bushes. They are really, really awesome. So I think I'm going to include some more of them in the areas in and around this base area. But yeah, I'm just going to carry on with this, and you see how the the wood sort of just breaks off into the grass here. Well, there'll obviously be a different material over here when I'm finished with this, but that is the idea. So we're just transitioning to another material over here, although I'm really not sure what that material will be just yet. Right, so I think I've come up with the design I'm going to be using in this area, but as you can see, it is quite an expensive design, judging by the fact that it uses pistons in the middle. I just thought that the piston texture just looked too cool to be missed in this area, so I'm kind of going around adding in pistons into each of these holes, which are split 3 blocks apart in a kind of a grid all over here. So I've just created that grid to kind of plan out how to do this design. It's obviously going to be a repeating modular, easy to replicate design, which is really just this bit right here, which is pretty simple to build. So all we need to do is go and add in, and it's quite expensive for wood as well, actually, because it uses wooden logs. Although I did go and mine up loads of these things from the tree farm a while ago, which means I do have quite a lot of wood, and dark oak wood stairs aren't going to be too hard to make either. I think it's the pistons which are really quite expensive, but as you can see, it is really simple to build in this design. And in all of the spaces in between, I think I'm going to go and use some of these nice stone brick slabs, which work pretty well as well. Oh yes, here we go. This place is completely done. All of the groundwork has been laid in here, and everything is looking pretty awesome indeed. After I've finished up with a few decorations and a few finishing touches over here, like this flower bed in this corner here, which is just kind of random, and it was just a bit of a last minute addition. Maybe I can add in some path blocks in some places here and there. That might add in a little bit to this little bit of park area right here. But apart from that, yeah, all of it's done. All of the decoration is in, and on my final thoughts on this thing, well, I think it's really cool the way that it's turned out, but it is a little bit of a kind of optical illusion. There is a lot going on, which probably, you know, could have been planned out a little bit more, but still it is absolutely awesome. And I think once we start adding in this floor pattern in other places around, for example, this area, I think everything will start looking a lot more kind of less unique and a little bit more merged in with the rest of the area once we replicate the design in other places. But yeah, it was a pretty expensive design. It used up all but 5 of my pistons which I had, but since this is the fortune area, now we can actually go and get all of the ores which I've been collecting up over time and place them in this area. But not only that, I didn't really think about this in this way before, but actually this is the perfect place for the fortune area to be directly next to the harbour, because what happens at a harbour, the ships come to the docks, they unload all of their cargo, and then their cargo gets stored basically in that docks area, which is something I didn't think about, but this is just going to work out perfectly well. And yeah, it's just the best positioning for everything. But also I've been thinking about what I could actually build around here, because this is a docking area and obviously we have the harbour, but as of yet we don't have any ships, we don't have any boats. So I thought it would be a really cool idea at some point to go and make some small ships, if I could, maybe design them in creative mode and try and build them in the water, even though I really haven't built any ships before. And also over here, I kind of figured that we have this huge patch of land which we can't really do anything with. So I thought that we could actually build in some kind of shipwrecks here, or some unused ships just kind of on the side here, or some fallen over ones or something like that, which would be really cool to add to the aesthetic detail. But that is pretty much this project done. for now. I've also gone and added in some of these cobblestone walls instead of all of the, I think we had some dark oak wood stairs, because all of the mobs would just kind of walk up to this and, you know, climb over, and I got attacked a lot of times by zombies, which I set on fire with my sword, and then they set me on fire, which isn't particularly good. But anyway, this project is pretty much done. I'm just going to go and add in some of these ores, and then we'll move on to the final thing that I'm going to be doing in today's episode. Alright, I am down here underneath my base area, and underneath my storage room right just over here, and I had this this little tunnel ready from the time that I had a nether portal here, and obviously I've moved the nether portal and that's all gone. But I can actually use this tunnel to go and expand this storage area and create some AFK farms and things like that. And obviously I've dug out a little bit of room here because today we're going to be building an AFK farm, the first one in this area, and it's going to be an AFK fishing farm, because these things are super useful. And I remember back when I was watching some of Xisumavoid's episodes, he used this to great effect and got some enchanted books and things like that. You can get the Frost Walker enchantment and the all the new different enchantments and things, which are super useful. You can also get name tags and things like that, which are also extremely useful indeed. So I think I'm going to go and follow Xisumavoid's tutorial and build this thing in this little compartment which I have here, and hopefully it should be pretty easy to build. Not only have I completely built this thing, but I've also been using it just a little bit. As you can see, my fishing rod has taken a little bit of damage. I've used it up a little bit, and I've got a few things in here. So obviously I should mention the whole thing is finished. It didn't take very long at all to build. It was very easy, so there wasn't really any point of doing it in progress updates. And if you're wondering why there's slabs all over the ground, it's just so no mobs will spawn in here, so I can be safe while I'm AFKing. And it really doesn't take too long at all to get quite a few different things. So here is my loot so far. I've got a power 3, infinity and breaking 3 bow, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely going to be repairing this thing up in just a second and using it. I've also gotten breaking 3, power 4 and punch 3. This is a power 3 bow, so this one is also really cool. And then we've got a couple of cool enchanted books here, and breaking, blast protection, and knockback and luck of the sea, and bane of arthropods. They're pretty cool as well. We've got a cool fishing rod which we can possibly combine with this one right here, and we've got a couple of name tags as well, which is already pretty awesome. So the way that this thing works is you just flick the switch here so that the piston is moving up and down. I think it's randomly or in a cycle or something like that. And you get your fishing rod, aim at the fence gate and cast your line until it stays in the water. So you have to do it at a particular level, which I think I've nearly got. It does take a little bit of time sometimes to get it sort of connecting or fishing in the actual water, and I found that kind of difficult with this farm sometimes, because even when you're AFKing, sometimes the bob just doesn't go down there in the water. Sometimes you have to start kind of low like this, and there we go. I think I was aiming at the wrong half of the block. I think you have to start down below a little bit, and then you can go and fish. And obviously as long as you hold down the right click button like so, you can keep fishing, and the hoppers will pick up all the items you get. The fortune area is now in use because we've had some shipments of freshly shipped quartz from the faraway lands within this Minecraft world, and we've obviously got some coal over there ready to be mined up in the near future at some point. So obviously we're using this beautiful area which has been decorated, and all of these ores and things do look very aesthetically cool, but obviously they're there for a reason, so we can go and mine them as well, which is something that I find quite cool. We're actually not just you know, making this area look like this for show, but we're actually using it as well, so it's part of our gaming experience, I guess you could say. But anyway, that is it for today's episode. I think we've done loads and loads of different things in and around this area, and with the fishing farm as well, so I'm very happy with our progress today. If you did like this video, please go down there and hit that like button, and if you feel like it, please do subscribe as well. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.